Is it normal for things to be better than sex?
Does having a vasectomy make you less of a man trying to decide if I want to get one?
I don't know. Am I less of a man? Does using a penis pump have a negative impact after use?
Great question.
Let's just get right into that. I'm asking for a friend. Is it normal my husband and I don't kiss during sex?
What is pegging?
All right, we just got real straight down to business here. Pegging is...
Hello and welcome to the Pillow Talks podcast. We're your hosts, Vanessa
and Xander Marin.
I'm a sex therapist with over 20 years of experience.
And I'm just a regular dude. We share the ups and downs in our relationship while giving you step-by-step techniques for improving yours.
Make sure you subscribe for your weekly double date full of totally doable sex tips, practical relationship advice, hilarious and honest stories of what really goes on behind closed bedroom doors, and so much more. It's the sex education you wish you'd had. Today we are back with one of our favorite episodes, Ask a Sex Therapist. We put a question box up on Instagram and we said, ask away any question, especially the questions that maybe you've been too nervous to Google, even on incognito mode.
Too nervous to ask anyone, too nervous to almost even start to think about.
And we got some interesting questions. Honestly, some questions that I've never even seen before in 20 years as a sex therapist. So I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, I've seen the gamut of the types of questions that you get asked.
Gamut. Nice SAT word.
Though upon reflection, I'm not sure you can say I've seen the gamut. I've really experienced.
Have run the gamut.
Yeah, the questions you have received have really run the gamut. What is a gamut, actually?
I don't know.
I have no idea what a gamut is, and can it be used in any other way than run the gamut? Anyway,
it's just the complete range or scope of something. It's not an actual, it's not a thing.
Great. I'm going to try to find ways to use that word more in non-run the gamut context. All right, but anyway, no, you get some wild questions, but I don't know. It's not like from one extreme to the other, but just some, you got some stuff. So I love knowing we're getting some new things here.
And what are your qualifications for answering this episode?
Well, yeah, she's a sex therapist who's over 20 years of experience. I'm her husband. That's it. I'm a regular guy, but I'm always learning.
You've been around the questions.
I've been around these questions for a long time. I've been around this content, this topic for a really long time at this point. It's funny because I, from the beginning was just like, I'm a regular guy. I'm a husband. I'm married. I'm a man. That's my perspective. I've been in a relationship and in a marriage for a long time, and at this point, that is still true. It's been even longer, but I really know a lot about this topic now because we literally do this day in and day out. All right, now speaking of run the gamut, let's just run all the way to the one end of the gamut and hit you with a new one, a good one, a surprising one from the very beginning.
One.
Yeah, all right. Number one, coming in hot and heavy. Vanessa, what is the hype between putting your partner's penis into a vag all night? Claims are they feel more closer. That was literally the question that we got.
Well, this person had to really struggle to fit the question into the box.
They did
were trying
a good job.
Shorten things.
They're saying
putting your penis.
So the claim is that if you do this, that the partners feel closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a new one. I'm always seeing new stuff pop up on the internet, new ideas people get into their heads, something will go around. So this is a trend now, putting your partner's penis into your vagina all night. Okay.
It's a new take on all night long. It's perhaps maybe a more realistic take on all night long, but though still also not very realistic.
Okay, so I always like to start with stuff like this saying our perspective is whatever you want to do, if it feels fun and exciting to you, go ahead and do it. Okay, so there isn't anything special about putting a limp penis into a vagina. If it makes you feel closer and special, then that's great. Go ahead and do it. But it's not like there's some secret technique thing that people are just catching on. It's just a limp penis in a vagina.
I mean, I got a comment here. there is something special in, like, if you manage to get a limp penis into a vagina,
That's what I was gonna talk about
a bit of
next.
an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an accomplishment. We've tried this before in kind of the opposite way, like in the lead up to sex, and that it can actually be really fun, but it's a real challenge to get it in.
It is quite difficult to get an unerect penis into a vagina. It's like trying to push putty into a jar, like, you know, you know those like gack jars you used to play with as a kid?
Gack, no.
Or you're like,
Where farts?
you're like trying to smush it in. You know?
When you say gack, all I think of is farting. It makes fart noises, right?
Yeah. You know, it's like penises need to be erect to like help them go in. When they're soft, like it is kind of putty like, where you're just trying to jab it in there,
jam it in the hole.
Okay, so it's hard enough to just get it in there in the first place, but I actually am not sure it's possible to put it in and have it in all night long.
It's hard to keep it there without it getting hard.
You have to be on top. Like, the guy has to be on top to even like kind of rustle it in there in the first place.
I hope you're watching on YouTube, by the way, to see Vanessa's illustrations of this.
We do have our podcast on YouTube, by the way, if you didn't know that. But yes, like, so he would have to be on top of you. This is, though, ironically, how I thought that couples slept when I was a kid. When I was like 8 years old or whatever, I thought like, couples slept, like male-female couples slept with the man on top of the woman, and you like, that was how you slept.
But you didn't think that I would sleep on you with my soft penis inside of you.
I did not.
That was not in the cards for 8-year-old Vanessa.
You'd have to be in that position, but also like we toss and turn a little bit as we sleep. So like that penis is going to come right out.
Yeah. Also, most people don't want to fall asleep on their stomach. Also, like, where's your head going to go? You can't put it on a pillow. Like, is my head just like on your head?
I mean, maybe you could do it in like a spooning position, but again,
there's
I just
no
think
way
like
it's staying
any
in.
sort of rustling around, like you're gonna fall out right away.
No, spooning is a challenging position to get it in. Like, there's like the angle is not ideal. You got to be hard to keep it in spooning. I'm just gonna go out on a limb there.
Do you remember that woman who? She used to DM us like multiple times about like my husband and I. Maybe we've even mentioned this on the podcast, so maybe this actually isn't a new one.
Well,
but
it was one person. It was that he.
All night
we like to keep it in all night. Does anyone else like that?
No, it wasn't that. Hers was they like to just like hang out on the couch and like have him be in her. But I no, that was hard. He would get hard and just like enter her, and they would just like hang out that way but not have sex. They'd just like watch TV.
Like soaking?
So this is a new one. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like soaking. But yeah, so anyways, all this to say, I think it would be very difficult to have a penis in soft all night long.
Sure,
if you want to try, go for it, but there's not anything, again, this is not like some special secret technique. This is just gonna feel like you got some gack in the jar.
Gack in the jar. Wow, that's a sickening visual and metaphor. You know what I will say? You know what? If you want to try this, I bet you will feel closer, because you're not going to sleep. Neither you're going to sleep at all. So you're probably going to end up talking. Hey, you might even end up having sex, because honestly, like, you know, hey, we actually do kind of enjoy that. If you are able to get yourself in soft and start kind of rocking around and get things started, it's a real fun way to start sex. So you might feel closer because you're probably going to have sex.
It's not. Yeah, we tried that technique out for a Smash or Pass episode. I don't remember which one because we've done several Smash or Passes, but that was the technique to like start soft. And we were actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
It was a rare, weird trick from the internet that actually did kind of work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the other way I could see this working would be if you have sex right before bed. So you're hard, you have sex, you're already inside. That could be the way that this happens. And then you just pass out on top of each other. I'm just not buying that anyone's getting any sleep like that.
Yeah. I really wouldn't think about this one too much. I wouldn't try it unless you're super excited about it.
But yeah, I mean, give it a try if you're worried.
Report back.
Yeah. Okay, Vanessa. Let's go a little more, I don't know, PG. Is it normal my husband and I don't kiss during sex?
So we actually hate the word normal around here because like we can get philosophical about it. Like, who's to say what is normal? Like I said for the last question, like, we're all about whatever you want to do, whatever feels good and fun and exciting to you, do that thing. Who cares what other people do? So let's answer this in a different way. Is it common that you don't kiss during sex? No. Most people kiss during sex. And it's not like not constant mouth contact.
Yeah, I think that's an important differentiator.
You and I will kiss, but we're not... Okay, if we had to guess, what percentage of the time do you think we're kissing during intercourse? Let's specify intercourse.
I think we kiss very little during intercourse. We kiss in the lead up to sex. We often kiss kind of like during foreplay, like touching each other. Yeah. Once we start intercourse, we barely ever kiss, and most of that is because of our height difference. It's I have to really bend my... I hope you're watching on YouTube again. I really have to do this to like get my chin all the way down and like, or like hunch my back.
Yeah, or we'll just be like in positions where you can't do a lot of kissing.
Or I mean, like if you're on top, I mean, yeah,
then
you have to really
I'll bend
work.
down and like kiss you. That's easier.
Yeah, we'll kind of do like a kiss here and there.
But like if you're in a position like doggy style, like you kind of can, if you're like really reaching around, but pretty much no. I
also find that if you, I mean, because we every now and then we will kind of like get a little more into like a serious makeout while having intercourse. I feel like it is harder for me to last as long as I would like to. Like, it's easy to get a bit carried away because it's like, ooh, there's a lot of sensation. And I'm like, you know, you have to kind of focus yourself on like on the kissing. Yeah. So that you don't kind of like screw up the kissing, and then it's easy for like your body to kind of like things to get away from you.
I mean, I'd say what we do is we have like kisses and then we break the contact and, you know, focus more on the intercourse and then come back and kiss again. But I think my guess is that this person is asking this question from a place of like, we never kiss.
And
during
I wonder
sex.
if, I mean, during intercourse, but I also wonder if they're meaning around like the entire process of having sex, whatever that looks like. And I mean, if you neither of you or one of you is really not into kissing, then like there's nothing wrong with that. However, I mean, kissing is a really great way to bump up the intimacy factor. I mean, that's why people kiss. Like, it feels good, it feels intimate, it feels connecting. So if you're wanting to have connecting, intimate sex, it would make logical sense that you would want to do something that really gives you that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, having sex, whatever it is, intercourse, hand jobs, blow jobs, whatever floats your boat, like doing that without, I mean, almost like, it almost feels like a friends with benefits arrangement where it's sort of like, all right, like we want to get each other off, but like, we don't really want to like catch feelings. And, you know, I think when people don't want to get feelings for each other, they very often avoid stuff like kissing or like looking at each other in the eyes too much, because that's kind of where that stuff happens. So,
oh, it's kind of sad. So, yeah, I mean, and
so that can be hot like every now and then, but
I also do want to mention, like, some people have sensory issues around kissing where they just don't really like making out. Well, we will hear from people sometimes who are like, I feel super weird, but it's just not my thing. And if it's not your thing, then it's not your thing. But it does sound to me like this question is kind of coming from my guess would be that it's coming from a place of like, I would like us to kiss during sex. So
but
I would recommend talking to your partner about this and letting him know that it is something that you would like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I could also see this question coming from a like, hey, we like kiss a little bit at the beginning, but then once we really get started, we're like not kissing at all. Is that weird? Because I think like when you see sex portrayed like on TV and in the movies, I think there is often a lot of kissing going on. They're just trying to like portray everything all happening at once. So I could see someone thinking like, oh, is it weird that we're like not making out during the act of intercourse? And I would say, no, there's nothing abnormal about that at all. Like, I think it's pretty common that you're focusing on the actual like intercourse part of it rather than the kissing. Honestly, I find it hard to focus on both at the same time. So that is totally fine. But I think the bigger question is, are you getting the level of intimacy that feels good to you when you're having sex?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, then hey, who cares if you're kissing or not? If you are not getting that level of intimacy, then yeah, that would be worth a conversation with your partner.
All right, we are joined by Chauncey and Maggie.
You might have to lift her up a little bit.
They're really sleepy right now.
Hello.
But we're waking them up from their naps because we got to talk about their favorite podcast sponsor, Chewy. Chewy makes it easy to find everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. Because look how happy and healthy this little guy looks.
This is a happy man right here.
They have over 100,000 products from top pet brands, all delivered to your door in 1 to 2 days. Their shipping is so freaking fast. It's crazy. So Chauncey and Maggie's favorite things from Chewy are the bully sticks. We buy these odorless like packs of bully sticks. Those things will keep them entertained for like an hour.
Chauncey also enjoys literally any toy he can get his hands on.
Oh yeah, they're both rescues. I don't think Chauncey had any toys in his past life, and so he really loves.
Now he gets a lot.
It makes us really, really happy to be able to get him toys on Chewy, and we also get all of Maggie's medications through Chewy. We actually discovered this from our vet before Chewy was even a sponsor. So she has like an allergy medicine that she has to take, and she gets a shot for her arthritis monthly. And we get those through Chewy. Our vet was like, go through Chewy. It's cheaper than what we can offer you here. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/pillows. That's chewy.com/pillows to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/pillows. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details. If you follow us on Instagram, you know that my dad is a pretty special dude. He pops up from time to time with a random sex tip of the day or just a really weird dad-ism. He's just like such a lovable, sweet guy. And I want to make Father's Day extra special for him. So that's why I am giving him a unique, heartfelt gift that'll truly make him feel loved. It's called Storyworth Memoirs. So here's how the process works. It is so simple and easy and really fun. So every week, Storyworth emails your dad or your other loved one a memory-provoking question, and you get to help pick the question. So there are things like, did you ever get into trouble in school, or what were your favorite toys as a child? Your loved one just responds to that email with a story. They can type it. They can even record it over the phone, and Storyworth will transcribe it for them. Seriously, it's so easy. You get emailed a copy of their response as they're submitted over the course of the year. So you get to like see all these stories come in throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, Storyworth compiles all of their stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book. Photos are printed in color, and it's just this incredible treasure that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations. We actually did Storyworth with both my parents, and they had such a great time answering the questions. It provoked so many interesting conversations at our weekly family dinner night. It's really such a special gift. I know a lot of us, like, we want to give meaningful gifts, but far too often we lose our creativity and we wind up just getting socks and a sweater again. So I'm really excited for you to try out Storyworth. Give the dads in your life a unique, heartfelt gift you'll all cherish for years, Storyworth. Right now, save $15 during their Father's Day sale when you go to storyworth.com/pillow. That's storyworth.com/pillow to save $15 on your order. Okay, Xander, I think as someone who's just been around a sex therapist for many, many years, you could answer this one. What is pegging?
All right, we just got real straight down to business here. Pegging is when, now I'm like second guessing myself.
Uh-oh.
No. Pegging, I was like, second guessing myself around like sort of like gender roles with pegging. Basically, pegging is when a man receives anal sex from a partner wearing a strap-on.
Yes. That's
so
correct.
It is specifically a strap-on going into a man's butt.
Yeah. I mean, typically when people are talking about pegging, they are talking about a woman wearing a strap-on, using it on her male partner.
It's like a reverse power dynamic.
Yeah, it could be someone of any gender just choosing to use a strap-on. But yeah, it's not just like anal sex. It's that there's a strap-on being used.
Yeah, it's really what it is it's like the experience of like a man getting fucked.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to draw a differentiation
between... is a man getting fucked. So pegging it's what's specific about it is that it's a strap-on being used.
Okay, but is it more of a straight man, like a straight man getting fucked? Because I don't think in the gay community, you know, and like people don't really talk about pegging. Well,
yeah. Typically, I mean, most commonly, pegging is used in the context of a straight male-female couple where they're choosing to play around with gender roles. You know, it feels kind of taboo and kinky and like flipping roles in that sort of way. So she is penetrating him anally.
Yeah, and usually with a dildo, because it's not like or like a strap-on, because it's not like, you know, just like a finger in the butt or a toy in the butt. People don't call that pegging.
Yeah, I mean, it's specifically a strap-on, which is a dildo, which is a like phallus shape made out of some sort of material, and you put it in a harness so that it like sticks to your body basically.
Where a penis would be.
Yeah, it's like it's not like you're not holding something in your hand, putting it into your partner. It's like strapped onto your body so you can like hands free, you know, do some thrusting.
So the person giving it can basically have the experience of what it would be like to fuck somebody.
Yes.
As if they had a penis.
Yes.
That's really what we're talking about.
But again, like there aren't any rules about, you know, you can only use it for a male-female couple. Like it could be for people of genders. And it's not like you could use it for people of different sexual orientations or identities and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yes, typically straight male-female couple doing this. So people, like, the reason people like to try pegging is because it feels taboo and naughty. I think any sort of anal play still feels, you know, taboo and exciting in that way for people. But
especially in the straight community.
Yeah, and especially like the role reversal of it. Like, oh, you're usually the one who's fucking me, but now I'm going to fuck you. There's also like total power play dynamics in it. And I do think, like, there's a part of me that wishes that every straight man did get pegged, because the experience.
Whoa, hot take.
Spoken from someone who, like, I have never pegged you. That hasn't ever been a part of our sex life. We're not, you know, interested in doing it. Super excited for people who want to, but just for us, it's not like something that is exciting. But I do think that there's something about understanding what it's like to be fucked. Like having somebody penetrate you with their body is a very vulnerable, very intimate experience. And I just think it would be interesting. Like, I am interested in what it would be like to fuck somebody, like to have a penis and be able to, like, it sounds kind of fun. But I think particularly for men, being able to experience what it's like to be fucked would be, I just think all men kind of should.
Yeah.
But obviously, like,
well, I mean, we've certainly played around with like some other like light anal play, and it's certainly vulnerable. I'll say it.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable. And I also want to say people like playing around backdoor because there's nerve endings there.
Yep.
I know we have all these, you know, taboo elements around it, but the reality is there are nerve endings there, just like there are nerve endings in the penis, in a vulva, in a vagina. Like, that's why people play around with it.
Yeah, so, I mean, and especially men, more so than women, I think, are actually set up to potentially have an orgasm from anal penetration, because the prostate can get stimulated, which actually can create a totally different kind of orgasm for a man.
So that's pegging, friends.
That's pegging.
If you're curious about it,
peg away.
Definitely something we're trying. I think we have some ancient blog post articles on our website at vmtherapy.com. I gotta walk you
really
through.
Want to ask people to search for that?
Sure, go for it. I remember like giving instructions for how to find. The thing about pegging is it's a little bit difficult because you have to like buy a lot of equipment to do it. So it's kind of a high bar for something.
It's not a casual thing.
Yeah, unless you're like, that sounds really hot to me, I want to do it.
And you already have a strap on sitting around.
It's a high bar, but you know, we always want to encourage experimentation and exploration.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole experience. Okay, let's continue. Is it normal for things to be better than sex? For me, sex is rarely mind-blowing. So I assume by sex they mean intercourse.
Well, I think they mean any sort of sex. It doesn't have to just be intercourse.
Oh. I totally read this as like, is it normal for sexual things to be better than intercourse? I mean, we can answer
No,
both
no,
of
like,
both
you
of
know,
these.
no, you know how like when people say like, "Oh my God, that
Yeah.
chocolate cake was better than sex."
Yes.
You know, they're saying like, yeah, is that common? Because for them, it sounds like a lot of things are better than sex.
Ah, ha, ha. Okay.
So this is actually a really interesting question. I mean, the first place that my brain goes to is sex should be mind-blowing. And for most of us, like, I mean, this is the reason why our business exists. It's because most of us, want to be having sex. We want to have sex that's mind-blowing and passionate and connecting and intimate, but we were never taught how to. So we're all just kind of flying blind here, trying to figure out, how am I supposed to make this experience as good as it's supposed to be, as good as I hear other people saying it's supposed to be, or I see in TV and the movies, which is problematic in and of itself. But
And especially for women, because
especially for women,
because it is absolutely possible for men to be having sex that is less than mind blowing, but for the vast, vast, vast majority of men, like we have learned how to bring ourselves to orgasm from a very early age. Whatever sex act we do, whether it's hand job, blow job, or intercourse, it is tailored to the very specific part on our body that is going to make us orgasm quickest and best. And so it's like very challenging for a man to be struggling to have the kind of sex that's going to bring him an orgasm. So for the most part, yeah, maybe you're not having very good orgasms, or you're coming too fast, because like often like a super quick orgasm may not be as good as one that, you know, where it took a little longer to get there. So that is totally possible. But for the most part, if we could read between the lines here, I think we are talking mainly about women who are probably not consistently having orgasm. And so in that context, if you're not feeling very much, is it possible for things to be better than sex?
Yeah. So like I would compare this to just being in a kitchen and having no clue what you're doing. And like, okay, I feel like food's supposed to be good. I'm supposed to be able to cook something, but like, I don't know how to use this knife, and I don't know what temperature these pots need to go in.
What items of food go together.
Yeah. So it's like, having zero experience cooking, but trying to figure out how to make this gourmet Michelin star worthy menu. So that's why we do what we do. And that's why we have so many of the guides that we have, like our ultimate foreplay guides, our ultimate sex guides. Like those are like cookbooks. They're recipes in them that like explicitly lead you through. Here's exactly what to do. Do this with your hand. Put your leg here. Like it shows you exactly what to do, the same way that a recipe is like, you know, take a tablespoon of butter and cut this up into, you know, finely chopped cubes. That's, you know, so that's what we do. That's why we do it. So yes, like sex absolutely should be pleasurable and mind-blowing.
Yeah, highly pleasurable.
Exciting. Yeah.
Orgasms in general are highly pleasurable when done correctly.
Okay, but then my brain also kind of wants to go to like, so what are some of the things for you that are better than sex?
Oh man, I mean, it's
like I wouldn't say like
very little. Like
actually no.
Like,
is there anything? Okay, think about like your best orgasm.
Well, yeah, because
is there anything that feels better than that?
Well, I think that this is the big differentiator here. Is that when you're talking about, okay, so sex can last a while, right? Like we could be having intercourse for a while and it could be feeling pretty good for a while and pretty damn exciting. Then there's the orgasm. The orgasm is really, 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 really good for a very short amount of time. So if you're talking about like the bang for your buck, like 10 to 20 seconds max for most men, right? So I'm like, okay.
I mean, 2 to...
Yeah, okay. So like anything, can I think of anything that is that good over a 2 to 10 or 20 second period? No, I can't.
Winning the lottery.
I don't know. I've never won the lottery.
I think I might enjoy winning the lottery more than my best orgasm.
Really? I don't think I would. I mean, it's like
winning the lottery. Get out of here.
Well, but that's like theoretical pleasure. It's not like something that actually feels good. I mean,
get out of here. You wouldn't trade winning the lottery for one orgasm?
No. But now you're saying actually winning the lottery rather than like the feeling that that's going to give you.
No, actually winning the lottery. Is that better than sex?
Sure. I mean, how much?
Thank you.
How much money? What's the winning?
For like one orgasm?
Yeah. Like $1,000 lottery win, or like $1 million lottery win, or a $10 million lottery win?
I mean, fuck, that's a good question. I mean, winning any money is pretty pleasurable. But I don't know, maybe $1,000.
$1,000? Wow. That's all I'm worth to you? No, I'm just...
For one singular I mean, if you want to say like how much money would you have to be paid to never orgasm again, that number would be astronomical.
Different story.
But a number of like what winning this amount of money would be more pleasurable than one single orgasm? Yeah, probably like $1,000.
Okay. I think for me, like looking at sort of second for second how highly and intensely pleasurable an orgasm is, it's hard to imagine something else like in that short amount of time, like feeling that way. But on the other hand, I think that there's a different level of satisfaction or pleasure or happiness that I get out of other things. Like when I have like a really, really exceptional surf session or something, I feel like on top of the world for like 24 hours afterwards, like at least the whole rest of the day. And, you know, and like if I kick out of a exceptionally good wave or something, I'm like on top of the world for like a couple of minutes as I'm paddling back out. But it's not the same kind of pleasure. I guess it's a matter of what type of pleasure or enjoyment do you prefer. I mean, I do really love that feeling of fulfillment. And just like, oh, yes, I did that.
Is there any food for you that is better than sex? Because I feel like that's where I hear this comment the most often. It's always like on a recipe of like, it's like this pineapple upside down cake is better than sex.
I thought you were going all in with the accent there and you kind of
did I start doing an accent?
Yeah, you did. I thought you were going to do more of a Southern accent and you just kind of pinched it off.
I'm saying Southerners don't have good sex. They're just enjoying their pineapple upside down cake more than their sex.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think people that are saying like this, whatever food is better than sex, like it's bullshit. It's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech because it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's not really true, but it's like, you know, it's something that makes it sound controversial or like sound like, oh yeah, that must be really good. I think it's just literally X is better than sex is like just like a figure of speech. It's literally just a figure of speech. No, but I want to know so you've never had any food that you would say is better than sex? Like I'd rather eat this food than have sex. I don't know. I mean, there's like every now and then I'll have a bite of something like at a really good restaurant where I'm just like, oh, that's so good. But like that just, that lasts for like a second or two. But it's not more pleasurable than sex. No, I mean, but like an orgasm lasts long. A really good orgasm for me lasts a lot longer than that. Yeah, I don't think I would say there's. And then I still feel great like for a while after that orgasm. Yeah, I would say there's. And there's a whole experience before that, which could be, you know, a while if we're taking our time. Okay, so yeah, there's our answer. Okay, this is another one for you. Well, there's a lot for me here. Yeah, you know, I just wanted to throw you a bone. Great. Does having a vasectomy make you less of a man trying to decide if I want to get one? I don't know. Am I less of a man? Bro, is that what you're saying? I mean, you tell me. No, a vasectomy doesn't make you any less of a man. I have a vasectomy. I honestly feel like more of a man now that I have one. Why? Because I get to just, I just get to... What are you gonna say? I just get to, you know, do whatever I want, wherever I want it. No consequences, baby. You've been doing that for a long time, though, because I have been the bearer of our birth control methods. I know. Now you're not. Now I am. I was going to say something really crude, and then I was like, I don't want to say that on this podcast. It's too full. No, I'm curious. I was going to be like, I just blow my load anywhere. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's I mean, it does matter, but but I'm not going to get anybody pregnant. Well, you're not going to get, you're not going to get
Anybody. Wait, hold on a second. Where else are you blowing your load?
I'm thinking of those like ridiculous like horror stories like, oh, someone sat on a toilet seat and blah.
Yeah, okay,
That's
that
fake,
is
like
a
fake, like fake things.
Yes, that's fake.
Yeah.
You better not be
I'm not going to be getting
anybody else.
I'm sure not.
I'm not getting anybody pregnant. Okay, but for real, talk about this because this is a concern that a lot of men have. Why do you think men think this?
I mean, I think that there is okay, I think that men think that it's going to like impact their hormone levels or like their testosterone levels. I mean, I think what the tricky thing is that often around the age that men are getting vasectomies is around the time that men's hormone levels or testosterone specifically do start to decline. I mean, like I actually started testosterone replacement therapy around that same time, but like the vasectomy is not impacting your testosterone levels at all.
Also, some men are really confused about what the procedure entails.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of men don't realize I think some men think like their balls are getting cut off. That is not happening. My balls are exactly like my balls were unimpacted by this vasectomy. A very, very, very tiny incision. And like a tube is basically cut and cauterized. And then you're sewed right back up. You you're supposed to just sit on the couch for a couple of days so that the stitches don't tear, and basically like ice the area. You don't need any like serious painkillers. There's like really...
Although I will say men get way better post-care instructions than we women get for our IUDs. Like, I cannot believe I got an IUD inserted with zero pain medication. And like, we have a lot of friends who were offered pain medication for vasectomies before and after. Like, I passed out during the procedure. It was so excruciatingly painful. So I just have to say I'm a little salty about that. It's definitely unfair. But yeah, okay. So you don't lose your balls. Also, the whole shooting blanks thing. Yeah.
So we say another figure of speech, which doesn't help. Shooting blanks is unfortunately a figure of speech that is confusing. So people will say a man who has had a vasectomy is shooting blanks. And what that means is that his cum like can't get you pregnant. There is no semen in the cum.
But a lot of people think that it means like you have an orgasm and nothing comes out.
So yeah, that is the problem, is that a lot of people hear shooting blanks and they think, oh, nothing is coming out. Like, I'm still having an orgasm, but like nothing comes out of my penis. And that could not be further from the truth. Yeah, so there is actually 2 to 5% of the total ejaculate that a man has is actual semen, sperm. So, I mean, I would challenge
Swimmers.
you. Swimmers. the live rounds, if you will. So, I mean, I would challenge you to take any amount of liquid or solid, remove 2 to 5% of it, and then try to visually spot the difference.
But also, as a woman, I just want to say, like, we do not care about the volume of your ejaculate.
And
like,
in fact, you'd probably prefer there's less.
Yes. Like, I know men get this into their heads because they see it on porn, and it's like that visual of like a huge load.
My loads are going to be smaller, bro, by 2 to 5%.
It's not what women want. I don't care about the size of your load. I've never noticed the size of your load. It doesn't like turn me on more to know there's more ejaculate there. Like you said, yeah, if anything, I wish there was less because it makes a mess. Not that sex is like a bad messy thing. It's just a natural thing that happens. But like, it would be more convenient if there was less of it slowly making its way out of my body in the days after having sex. So
very fair.
Men, we don't care about your loads.
Yeah. Now, I do think that also men get in their head about like, oh, I'm not virile anymore. Which, I don't know. To me, that... So like, look, I mean, I'll be honest here. We don't have kids. We've decided that we are not ever going to have kids. We want to be child free. So I don't know what that experience is like. We talked about things that were better than sex or like feeling satisfaction. I can totally imagine how there could be this real high sense of satisfaction of like, I did that. I got my partner pregnant. Like I made that this child here. And so
weird.
I can see that there is definitely some validation in a way of like, yeah, like you are a fertile person that was able to do that.
Fertile myrtle.
So yes, having a vasectomy will take that away from you, but presumably, hopefully, well, yeah, but presumably, hopefully, you are only getting a vasectomy because you don't want to have another kid. You do not want to be virile anymore. So honestly, I think that the men who are struggling with that, honestly, I think that you are probably struggling. You might be saying, yeah, I don't want to have any kids anymore. But like, I think there's probably a part of you that is struggling with the finality of that decision. So to me, when somebody raises that as their concern, my question is, hey, it seems like you're not really sure about this. So you probably shouldn't get a vasectomy yet. Mm-hmm. But you also shouldn't tell your partner, oh yeah, like I'm totally done. Like it sounds like you have some unfinished business that you gotta work out with your partner.
Yeah. We do have 2 podcast episodes about your vasectomy journey.
Yeah.
If anybody is interested, if you want to learn more, I highly recommend listening to those. But what is your TLDR of a vasectomy?
Great. Highly recommend. I mean, honestly, it feels really good to be like, hey, I'm taking care of the birth control now. You've done it for so many years. It's really good to be able to contribute in that way, be of service to your, if you have a female partner who's probably taken that burden on for a very long time and probably their body has taken a lot of abuse from that. Most people, unfortunately, are on hormonal birth control, which wreaks all kinds of havoc. You were not on a hormonal IUD, but that still wreaked havoc, like physical pain with you. And, at times, every now and then, like we could feel it having sex.
You know what's weird? Like a lot of men have complexes around like being protectors. Mm-hmm. So why don't you have a complex around like protecting us dainty, delicate women from all the negative impacts of birth control? Like,
or protecting you from getting pregnant if you don't want to get her pregnant.
To be clear, I'm not saying that we women are dainty and delicate and are in need of protecting. I'm being facetious here, but it is kind of funny that there's this whole complex, but not in an area that actually would benefit me.
Yeah. So I don't know. Highly recommend. Guys, step up to the plate. Be a man. Get a vasectomy when you are done having kids.
Or if you don't want to have any at all.
Yeah, when you're done or you've decided you don't want any.
If you're like us, when you get busy, figuring out what to eat feels like torture. Like we love food. We actually love preparing food and like sharing an experience with each other.
When there's time.
But like sometimes it feels so exhausting. You just don't have the time or energy. And that's not even thinking about trying to eat healthy. That's like anything. So that's why we are so excited to tell you about Hungry Root, because they help us eat healthy and quickly, even in those super stressful times. It's actually hard for me to talk about Hungry Root like in a concise way because they have so much to offer. They have 15,000 recipes shipped each week. There's so many options that you can choose from, and their meals can be made, most of them in 15 minutes or less, but super high quality ingredients, really creative pairings. They take food from so many brands that we love and buy ourselves, but help you like combine them into meals that you just never would have thought of.
Yeah, so it's not like your typical meal kit where you choose the meals and then you prep everything. It's like they're sending you a variety of prepackaged and fresh things that you are quickly throwing together into a meal, which is why there are so many things. It's like the sky is really the limit with all the combinations that are possible. They just help you identify these are the combinations that go really well together. And, this one takes 5 minutes. This one takes 10 minutes, and then they get you all the supplies.
Yeah, and I will say they do make it really easy for you to choose. Like there are these great filters that you can use to talk about your dietary restrictions, your preferences, how you want to eat, all kinds of stuff. And it's more than just meal kits too. Like you can also grab groceries, sweets. There are full-on ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, even supplements. Like meat, they have everything. It's kind of like your groceries, your personal shopper, your meal prep all in one. We love Hungry Root, and we have an exclusive offer to give you. For a limited time, you can get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/pillow and use code PILLOW. That's hungryroot.com/pillow, code PILLOW, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/pillow, code PILLOW. Let's talk about sleep. Sleep is one of the most crucial parts of our health, but so many of us overlook it, or we're just not getting the quality sleep that we need. And it especially can affect our relationships. Like when you are cranky, when you haven't slept well, you are so much more likely to argue with your partner, just be frustrated with, like, we've all been there. A good night of sleep really can help fix so many relationship challenges. So that's why we rely on Beam's Dream Powder. It's a healthy nighttime blend designed for people who take their sleep health seriously. With science-backed ingredients like reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin, Beam's Dream Powder is formulated to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up sharp without the grogginess of other sleep aids. Plus, Beam tastes incredible. We have the cinnamon cocoa flavor. It's just such a nice, tasty little treat yourself drink at the end of your night. Beam has already improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep, helping people across the country wake up and feel their best. And right now, Beam is offering up to 40% off their best-selling Dream Powder for our listeners. Perfect timing to lock in your summer sleep strategy. Go to shopbeam.com/pillow and use code PILLOW at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/pillow and use code PILLOW for up to 40% off. Grab the deal and give your sleep the same attention you give the rest of your health today.
Okay. Vanessa, does using a penis pump have a negative impact after use?
Great question.
Let's just get right into that. I'm asking for a friend.
A lot of penis-related questions today, actually. I was just realizing. Okay, so penis pumps can, like, there are risks associated with them for sure. Just like any other, toy or utensil instrument that you might use in the bedroom. Like, there are always potential risks.
I mean, just imagine you're using pressure, basically. Thinking like broken blood vessels. And
yes. Yeah, that's one of the main ones. So if you've never heard of a penis pump before, it's literally what it sounds like. It's a pump that it's like a tube. You put it over your penis and you use this pump to pull. It basically pulls.
Suction.
Yeah, suction. It pulls blood into the penis. Blood is what makes men have erections.
Yeah, you are not pumping the penis up from the inside.
Yeah, it's from the outside. The suction.
You are using external pressure.
Yeah.
So is it kind of wild to think about? Like, do you actually want to be applying so much pressure on your body part that it's like sucking blood from elsewhere in your body into there?
So they are most often used to treat erectile dysfunction, like men who are struggling to get hard for a variety of reasons. Could be medical, medication, could be psychological. As a sex therapist, it's not one of my favorite interventions. Like, it's not something I've ever recommended a client do, but I also am not a medical doctor, so I don't work with a lot of those, more extreme, like, medical situations. So there for sure are some cases where they can be really beneficial. I don't think they're terrible. They're just not one of my, first line of defense type of situations. But in general, they are pretty safe, but you do want to be careful about the amount of pressure that you're creating. Like, you can lead to bruising. You can have pain if you've pumped yourself up too much. Sometimes there can be a little bit of numbness afterwards. You can have break blood vessels, and you get little red dots on your skin from the blood vessels breaking underneath the surface of the skin. So those are the main ones. But in general, if you're using it, if you're not overdoing it, if you keep pumping, and you're starting to feel pain and so much pressure, of course that can be causing some issues. But in general, they typically are pretty safe. But I would talk to a medical doctor before using one.
Now, I think there are plenty of people that are curious about using these outside of medical advice in terms of just temporary penis enlargement, right?
Some people use them for that reason. It's not real. That's not really what they're made for. They're made for just getting an erection. They're not going to help you. Like, they're not going to actually make anybody bigger. You're gonna get an erection, so you'll be bigger than you are soft. But it's not like it's stretching out the size of your penis and making it any bigger.
All right.
So
then.
tell your friend.
Okay.
But
he's disappointed, but he does have a question though about some pills that he saw online. No, I'm just kidding.
How about we go back to you? Are men lying when they say they like sex the same after a woman gives birth?
Well,
Speak for all men.
Well, I mean, look, I cannot speak for myself because that is not the situation that we are in. But this is such a tough one because we so often hear from the flip side of this concern of, oh my God, like is my vagina going to be stretched out after childbirth, right? And unfortunately, we do hear from some men that say really awful things to their partners after childbirth about like how they're not satisfied. Look, I think if a guy is saying that he is just as satisfied, he's just as satisfied. For the most part, like childbirth is not actually permanently stretching your vagina out. And there are things that you can do like pelvic floor physiotherapy to get the kind of like muscle.
Okay, so first I just have to come in here and say the vagina is incredible. It is meant to flex and stretch. Like it is designed for fetuses to be able to shoot out it and for it to go back to normal.
Shoot out.
Well, maybe shoot's not the right word for that, but to be birthed and then to go back to normal. So you can have trauma from childbirth. You can have tearing. You can have like muscular issues. And so like you were saying, pelvic floor physical therapy can be a great option if you did have any sort of medical issue that happened around the birth, or you're feeling like things are just not feeling the same for you. But in general, like the vagina really is meant to go back to normal. And this question is really coming from we women have been taught to be so self-conscious about the tightness or looseness of our vaginas. I mean, you would hear that, like, that would be an insult on the, in school all the time. Like, oh, she's so loose and stuff like that.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, penises are not loosening up vaginas.
No, they absolutely are not.
Especially the idea that like the more men that she has sex with will somehow loosen her up. But if she is in a monogamous relationship and has a lot of sex with one person, that somehow that doesn't, the logic doesn't logic.
Not how it works at all. I think we've talked before about this meme that we like to post every once in a while. That's like, it tries to flip this whole idea on its head. And it's a picture of a sausage. And it's like, this is the penis of a virgin.
It's like a big plump sausage.
It's like whose penis has never been squished by a vagina, and then it shows like this little like skinny little cocktail weenie, and it's like this is the penis of a man who's had a lot of sex and it's been crushed in the vagina. It's like it's such a funny meme, and like obviously that's not real. Nobody ever talks about penises being crushed. Like, oh, you've had so much sex, your penis has been crushed, and it's just this tiny little thing. So why are we talking about, oh, you've had so much sex, or you've had a baby, and now your vagina's all loose? It's like, get out of here. You can't have it one way but not the other. So all that to say is, for the most part, the vagina really does go back to normal after giving birth. And the anxiety that you're having about your vagina is not based in reality. It's based in all this bullshit, crappy socialization that you received. You're fine. And yeah, if you're I almost cut you off when you were saying like some men have said really shitty things. We have like very rarely. I almost cut you off from saying that because I was like, I didn't want to cause more anxiety for women. Like I'm talking about very rare, a handful of times across years. We've had women say like, my husband told me that like it doesn't feel the same, or like it feels looser, and like that was a fucked up thing to say. That's not kind, especially if someone has just birthed your child. Like, fuck you. But again, that's very rare. That is not like every man secretly on the side like, oh my God, actually like her vagina is totally loose. So I will say that as well. And yeah, if your partner like is saying to you, it sounds like what if we read between the lines, it sounds like this person, your partner is telling you, I like sex the same, and you're not wanting to believe him. So just believe him.
Yeah.
I think he's telling you the truth.
Yeah, why would he be lying to you? All right, Vanessa. How to participate when he's on top? I assume this is coming from a woman saying, I'm on the bottom. How do I participate when he is on top of me?
Yeah, and I love this question because, again, it goes back to like the mechanics of sex, all these technical details that we feel like we should know, but
who taught you?
Who taught you? That's why we're here. And don't forget, you can check out all of our guides and resources in deeper. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few minutes.
Get that training no one ever gave you.
Yeah, we'll put the link for it in the show notes too, so you can hop right over there. Okay, let's talk about how to participate. So I love that you're asking this question because we do hear from a lot of men saying, I feel like my partner doesn't really engage with me during intercourse. Like
just
he's on top,
there.
He's doing his thing, and she's just kind of lying there, not enthusiastic, not really participating. And it does go back to, we've talked a little bit about how women in male-female relationships are having way less pleasure, way fewer orgasms. So we also need to talk about the fact that like intercourse in particular tends to not be the most pleasurable activity for women. Like 91% of women say it's not their favorite activity.
Yeah, definitely not until you get the clit involved.
Well, not until you get our ultimate sex guides involved and learn how to make it more pleasurable for women. But yeah, so all of that, like, it's complicated. It's not just that women are like being lazy and lying there. A lot of it's like we don't know what to do, or we're feeling bad because we're not feeling pleasure and we're feeling like something's broken with us, or we're having sex that we don't actually want to be having because we feel like we're supposed to. That's our womanly duty. So this is actually a very complicated question that there could be a lot like layered up into. But
there could also just be the like, oh well, like aren't I supposed to just like let him do his thing?
Yeah. So, but no, you're not supposed to just let him do his thing.
Unless that is very specifically what you guys want, or like what he has a fantasy of like, I want to like do this, and you talk about it and you're like, okay, cool. Let's like kind of play this scene out where like, I'm just lying there.
Yeah, I mean, that's very niche.
That's very niche. So I'm saying like, unless your partner is literally asking for the experience of that.
Of you doing nothing. That's okay. Anyways, you should be, even though your partner is the one who's on top and kind of like maybe a little more in control of it, you can and should still be participating in the sex that the two of you are having. So let's just go over a bunch of different things that you could do. You could use your hips to kind of like push back into his thrust, like match his thrusts. Mm-hmm. That can be really fun. Use your hands to just touch all over his body. Make eye contact with him, talk dirty to him, pull him in for a kiss. You could grab him and flip him over into a different position.
Oh, take control,
take control
baby.
yourself. What else could you do to participate? What would feel good for you as a man?
I mean, like making some amount of noise.
Making some noise, yeah.
I mean, assuming it's feeling good.
Yeah,
if it's not feeling good, then get the Ultimate Sex Guide and start implementing things that are going to make it feel better for you. If you are having intercourse that is not enjoyable, like we are not saying do these things to put on an act.
Yeah, no.
So it's like if none of the things that Vanessa just suggested, if all those things sound crazy to you because you're like, well, that would be so out of alignment with how I'm feeling. That's not in integrity with like the way I'm actually feeling. Then let's work on fixing the way that you are feeling, because there are ways that we can make this experience much better. Even if intercourse really isn't the most pleasurable activity for you, there are a lot of ways that we can augment it to start making it a lot more pleasurable. And then doing these things start to feel a lot better. But yeah, I mean, just sort of like making some amount of noise, like verbal feedback, whether that's talking dirty or just like moans that are aligned with how you are actually feeling. I think, that's something that we do hear from a lot of men where it's like, I cannot tell what is going on with her when we're doing, I can't tell if she's enjoying it. I can't tell if I'm going like in the right direction or the wrong direction in terms of like bringing her more or less pleasure. It feels like I'm kind of all alone. And then I'm just like, okay, well then I guess I'm just doing this for me because I'm already here. So yeah, I think it's just really being there with him, like energetically.
Yeah.
And noise talking hormones can go a really long way, especially with just some physical feedback of like touching and moving a little bit, even if it's not in like perfect harmony with him, because you can't really move that much when you're on the bottom.
No, it's just like rocking your hips, like a little pelvic tilt, like slightly back and forth.
Yeah. Or like, kind of squeeze, like do some Kegels.
Yeah, a little squeeze could be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, I do think like when both partners are trying to like thrust and you're on different rhythms, that can be a little weird. So like you do want to make sure you're doing it at the same time. But it's, when you're on the bottom, it's a subtle thing. Yeah.
Or I mean, try moving a little bit and being like, hey, like, do you like that? Or, try to get some feedback like, oh, is that good for you? Or, or do you need me to be a little more still?
Yeah.
And then maybe shift to some of the other things.
Yeah. If you're loving the podcast and wondering, okay, but how do I actually put this into practice in my relationship?
Well, then you're definitely going to want to check out our membership, Deeper. It is hands down the best and the most affordable way to take your relationship from good to great.
Inside, we guide you through our 5 keys to everyday intimacy: communication, connection, desire, pleasure, and exploration.
And we give you the expert tools you need to strengthen each one. And on top of that, you'll also get access to our core library of courses and guides like the Ultimate Foreplay Guides, the Ultimate Sex Guide, Art of Initiation, and so much more.
Plus, we drop 2 brand new date ideas every month. You get daily Would You Rather prompts, monthly live calls with us, and fun intimacy challenges to keep your momentum going.
And Vanessa AI is there too, your personal on-demand sex and relationship coach that is trained on everything, literally everything that we've ever created. So ask her anything and get instant expert-backed answers.
So if you're ready to communicate better, feel more connected, and turn up the heat on your sex life,
head on over to vmtherapy.com/deeper and use code PILLOW for 25% off your first month, just for Pillow Talks listeners. All right, now finally, let's end with this one, Vanessa. Can responsive/spontaneous desire be taught? Like, can you switch from one to the other in life?
No, you can't. So spontaneous and responsive desire are the 2 sex drive types. We talk about them often on Instagram, but we've never done a podcast episode about them. So let us know if you want a full podcast breakdown. Come over to Instagram. We're at Vanessa and Xander, at Xander with an X, and just send us a DM because I'm curious to know if people are into this. But they're the 2 sex drive types. Basically, where they boil down to is where you feel desire first, in your brain or in your body. Most people think desire is supposed to be spontaneous, but responsive desire is just as much of a thing.
Especially for women.
Research shows that about 75% of women have responsive desire. So whenever people hear us talk about this, they inevitably are like, okay, but how do I get spontaneous? But spontaneous isn't better than responsive. It's just different. They both have their pros. They both have their challenges. So one is not better than the other. And what this model is really meant to do is help normalize that desire works in different ways for different people. And it's not even this rigid, like, you're just spontaneous or just responsive. Like, everybody can experience both kinds. It's not meant to, like, put us in boxes. But in general, like, it's meant to normalize that some of us need to feel physical arousal first before mental desire starts to kick in and we start thinking, like, oh, this is feeling good. I should have more of this. Let's keep going. So you can't like really teach yourself or like switch your desire type. But again, if you want us to do a podcast episode, we can break down like what the 2 types are, how they work. And inevitably in every relationship, there's like one partner who's responsive and one partner who's spontaneous. So we can talk about how to create an environment for both of your desire to flourish.
I think that there are definitely some way. Yeah, I don't know if I would go as far as to say that like you can switch them, but there's definitely some ways if you are a responsive type to be able to sort of like short circuit it, so to speak, or like to really decrease the amount of time, I think, to like jump from being like not thinking about sex to be thinking about sex. I think that when we think of responsive desire,
there are ways to work with your desire.
Yeah, there's ways to work with it and really make it almost in many ways feel more spontaneous. But But yeah, it's like you're not going to just like wake up one day being kind of like your brain wired totally differently.
All right. Well, that brings us to an end of this round of Ask a Sex Therapist. Thank you so much for listening, and join us again next week. We release new episodes every Thursday.